take at least a year, maybe longer. Derek decided to check if he qualified for the Crash Connect program first. He received.
Okay. So back in 2014, there was a lot of protests in Brazil. Okay. The demonstrations of 2014 were generally smaller than those. But the first week of the World Cup, right? They were trying to have this significant event, which is the World Cup. Pretty much the biggest sporting event, or sporting tournament in the world. So there were more than 20 protests and 180 arrests over various cities, resulting in many police action. On June 12th, at least six were injured in Sao Paulo when military police threw gas grenades and fired rubber bullets at protesters. Two CNN journalists were actually injured. The governor justified the aggression of the military police, saying that the goal was to prevent protesters from blocking a major traffic artery leading to the football stadium. Okay. Basically, again, the protest. Okay. The protest. Anybody, I want to I'll give context to the protest. On the 27th of May, or actually on 27th of May, two protesters blocked the streets in Brasilia near the monumental axis, causing a congestion. Among protesters were 300 Aboriginals who went to the capital to protest changes in laws concerning the demarcation of indigenous land. Okay. I know we're in America. We don't give a fuck about what's going on in Brazil. But just to give you the plight that might align with black people is that there were people who felt that they had some birthright and they had some ancestry related towards particular land that was really in question. Not only in question for whether it's capitalism, but also for this football game. Okay. Protests ended a confrontation with military police. So essentially, what happened is that they realized we're going to be on the global stage as any country or host country of the World Cup. Right? We're going to be on the world stage. We need to quiet these protesters up. Get the fuck on out of here. If we throw some gas grenades at you, fire rubber bullets, we're going to need to make sure you stop protesting before the world looks at us. Essentially, it was mayhem. It was a bad look. A lot of humanitarians said, "Well, is it worth having a football game in a place that is so socially, it's socially broken? People are not happy with what's going on here. The World Cup is to bring people together, not to actually highlight. And I mean, it kind of does both at the end of the day. Highlight the problems of that particular society." Now that's the context of what's going on in Brazil in 2014. There's an interesting email which I don't know why no one wants to talk about it. This is Jess Stolly. This is the person who is the CEO of the Barclays. Okay. The Barclays. Right. It's funny. Financial institution. They also eventually do a sponsorship with the arena that's now known as the Barclays Center. If you go back to look at the history of the Barclays Center, before the people, there were people who lived there for generations, and based on a lot of these community laws and like local laws, it says that for the community has to agree. Like the government can't just say get up and move. Right. That's normal gentrification. Like usually there's going to be a big building that's brought to the hood. They go to people that offer a buyout that they can't refuse. And if a few people say no because the old grandma that says I'm not moving, it gets a little bit legal, but they'll figure it out. Right. Essentially, a lot of people they love that particular place that they lived in Brooklyn, and there was plans to build a arena there. In trying to get it all approved, there was many meetings, many town halls or whatever the case is. But Jay-Z was used as someone to say, hey, listen, I came from here. I'm from Marcy Projects. I'm trying to bring economic opportunities. I'm trying to bring more money to the region. I'm not trying to kick you guys out of where you want live that. You know. Yes, the problems with gentrification is usually even if people stay, you're outpriced. Everything's going up because now rich people moved in there, and now you can't afford it. His thing was that's not gonna happen. We're gonna make sure you guys who've lived there for decades and decades you still be around. If you're the immediate site, we're gonna relocate you. We're gonna put programs, everything. We're gonna community build. I'm from Marcy, and I'm Jay-Z. I'm putting my stamp on it. It's the same thing that happened with motherfucking Tidal. It's the same thing that happened with the NFL halftime. It's the same thing. Jay basically just finessed a couple niggas. Got them out of there. As soon as he got them out of there, he's toasting, Ace of Spades with the white owners. We did it. But the conversation that we never knew is a conversation that came out via the Epstein files. So this is Jess Staley from the Barclays Group. That is the CEO. And he's saying to Epstein, he says, you know why we're not Sao Paulo? Remember, Sao Paulo, I want you to remember, yet again, Sao Paulo in 2014, it was mayhem. I want to give you a visual representation of what was going on. Sao Paulo protests 2014. It was mayhem. This is how the streets looked. I want to show you this because what's being understood and spoken about is this. So you have a CEO telling Jeffrey Epstein, you know why this isn't going on in Brooklyn? Look. This is what's going on. This is how it was. And you guys should look this up. I'm not making this up. Let me make sure you guys can see. You can Google for yourself. I can't create fake news. It's real. Okay? Again, I'm wondering why no one's having these conversations. This is how it was in Sao Paulo in 2014. Your favorite media figure got all the time to talk about Ari. They want to talk about everything. Nobody wants to talk about situations like this. This is not being hidden. It's out there. Simple Google search will figure it out. Here's the conversation that I'm wondering no one wants to talk about. The email from the CEO of the Barclays, former CEO, to Jeffrey Epstein. Says, you know why we're not Sao Paulo? Watch the TV ads on the Super Bowl. It's all about hip blacks in cars with white women. The group that should be in the streets. The group that should be in the streets. The group that should be in the streets. Let me say one more time. The group that should be, even though white billionaires are saying, thank God, the black people who should be saying, we won't take this anymore. The group that should be in the streets like Sao Paulo. Let's see what the email says. They have been bought off by Jay-Z. What are we talking about? If we don't see the conversation, they love to say, well, we can't talk about the other shit where they say Jay and Weinstein because that was a random tip. That was a random tip. I can't really. This is an email from a very verifiable CEO to Jeffrey Epstein that they don't know culture. Only thing they know is money. And they're saying the black people who should be in the streets protesting whatever BS
got sold by Jay-Z.
we got going on. Jay-Z bought them off. We shouldn't talk about that. Where are all the people who they love calling me?
That's crazy as hell.
Black people.
That's crazy. That's crazy as hell.
Where's the pro-black people who claim white supremacy? Who claim this? They've been very silent on this. And this is the point of even the people. Where is Tariq Nasheed? Tariq Nasheed always be talking about the white supremacists put like a black guy there to make it all good. Well, in his terms, this is exactly what this would be. The group that should be in the streets, they were bought off. How is this not the biggest topic? Oh. Y'all just pulling up. Now y'all pulling up like random tips. Let's see if we can find who these people are. Just Stolly. This is him. Let's go to his Wikipedia. He's an American banker and former chief executive of the Barclays. Man, y'all got it, man. Y'all got it. I also realize at this point I'm like talking to myself, right? Like I think I wouldn't be surprised if they're like, yo, put Nicki Minaj and academics in a straitjacket and get them out of here. Because I think like I'm pointing out, like anything I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna put it on the screen. Nobody wants to talk about it. All right, cool. It is what it is. It is what it is, bro. It is what it is. I feel like at some point, y'all are gonna hear academics is crazy. They're gonna make up some other lie about me. The distraction is coming. They try to pivot us a couple of times, but the distraction is coming. I'm trying to lock back in on the conversation, and again, I'm not gonna attack my media compadres, but I implore y'all as an audience, if you watch them. And they're on their podcast, they're on their radio show, they're on their TV show, they're doing whatever, and they keep talking about a bunch of fuckery. Maybe just say, hey, can y'all take 10 minutes to talk about this? Why the hell they're saying Jay-Z bought them out? What does that mean to you? You know what's funny? Because if it was a email saying, thank God the dumb black people who are Republicans, Trump bought out, it would be all over the place. Very interesting. Anything else we need to, I feel like we've been on here for 4 hours. It's kind of been exhausting. Not gonna lie to you. I feel like we've done as much as we could do without sounding like a broken record. The point remains, I sit here and I try to be a beacon of truth. I'm not perfect myself. I also don't come to y'all as if I don't have my own biases, and I try to. If I do have bias, I tell y'all, right? And I would respect that a little bit more of my media, conglomerate people, where if they're like, yo, me and Jay-Z got a business here. Fuck you, we ain't talking about that. I'd be like, all right, I get it. But they're acting like they have zero affiliation. Like when I get on here, it's whatever. I'll be like, yo, that's my man. I'll tell you. Oh, that's my boy. You know, that's what like. What you want me to be the harshest critic of my boy? You know what I mean? Like, come on, let somebody else do it first. I'm okay with telling people, yeah, you know, we're all human. Everybody got a little bit. Everybody's acting like they call it down the middle, yet they are ignoring. They're like, we don't see it and we don't hear. It's the same time. We don't see it, we don't hear. We don't see it, we don't hear. I'm like, Jesus Christ, and we don't hear. Pick a struggle. What? We don't hear. We don't see it, we don't hear. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like, pick a struggle. What? That's where we're at. Okay. I read a few donations. I see you guys have mentioned like Charleston White. I did see that video. I read a few donations. I see you guys have mentioned like Charleston White. We can talk about it in a second. That video. I couldn't tell if it's real or not. I don't know. We could talk about it in a second. I don't know. I also got a lot of people giving me messages saying we are concerned for you. Giving me messages because saying it's not that your counterparts don't see what's going on. It's not they're just smarter to talk about it, as you seem to not give a damn about your own, survivability, right? Like, if you believe that maybe they've influenced whatever, maybe trying to take this person's career out, get this person off a label, do this, a very high powered thing, even maybe affect maybe a court case or two, maybe start cases on people. Maybe if you feel that, why do you speak about them? And I agree. So, there is a part of it that, like, this is probably why I ask my counterparts to like jump in, because I'm like, yo, it's at the point where they've attacked everybody. The next only person, if they have a list of people, they're like, we need to shut the fuck up. I think Joe has kind of resided to talking about Instagram models, so he's off that train. So they're like, all right, cool, Joe is out of the crosshairs. Milagro is drowning in legal fees, and they're trying to put permanent gag orders on her, so she's out of the field. The crosshairs are kind of looking like it's on me. And I'm kind of like looking for, is there anybody that's interested in fighting a good fight? Or is it just me versus whatever? And I do see Nicki Minaj over there. And again, I always say, like, I'm not agreeing with everything Nicki's ever said about everybody. But there is certain things she's mentioning about Rock Nation, and I'm going to call it a cabal, right? For lack of better words. I wouldn't believe it if I ain't see some of this shit my damn self. I have even further theories, but I don't want you guys to think I'm cynical. I particularly think that they're working on, and again, this is just a theory of mine, and maybe I shouldn't say it. I think Jay-Z is still salty about his casino deal not going. I think that further plans to work together. And let's just say, without getting too far into it, I think that there's certain things with casinos, maybe online ones, that maybe other people or the rappers represent that is being maybe attacked by a conglomerate associated to that rapper who or mogul, whatever, that might be with another casino. I don't know. There's some things that starting to peep again. This shit bigger than Nino Brown. Just remember that. This shit bigger than Nino Brown. It's a lot of shit going on here. It's a lot of shit. powerful people. I want to give you one example when it comes to, again, not the criminal case, but I want to say the civil case, because I saw a lot of crazy shit when it came to that. In the civil case with Milagro Cooper and Meg Thee Stallion, the judge saw cause to issue a subpoena for the deposition many different people. I was one of them. They thought
different people.
that Aiden Ross should sit before for deposition. They stopped short of actually requiring Drake just because they couldn't find him. You know, it's Drake, so it's going to be hard to kind of just run up on him. But I suppose if they had found Drake, they would have forced Drake to do it too. Here's the interesting part about it. They would have forced Drake to do it too. Here's the interesting part about it. Remember, as I said, in the actual, remember, I was never in the actual case. I never went to a day of the trial. I've never spoken with Meg about the trial. Never spoken to the DA about the trial. Never spoken to Tory's lawyer about the trial. And Tory has not had a conversation with me about his case outside of an interview, which I think that was about his case outside of an interview. So I really have no proprietary information other than I really have no proprietary my reporting tweets other than about the situation. My reporting tweets about the situation. They found it necessary for me to sit for a deposition, but the woman that was in court, it necessary for me to sit for a deposition, but the woman that was in court, supposedly speaking with the DA, her name literally came up on screen while I'm in my deposition. Her name came up on screen. Milagro wanted to put her in a deposition. Her name came up. The judge wouldn't grant it. Why? That's someone who's the judge wouldn't grant it. Why? Been in the court. That's someone who's supposedly the close associate of Meg, but also the manager or the CEO of Rock Nation. The judge said no. We don't need to talk to her, but we need to talk to academics and Aiden Ross. It's interesting. So when it comes to like influence, I look at that and I say that was a little sus. It's a little bit sus. They paid Meg's doctor to lie. Oh, so this whole thing about did a verse with the grandson. Clearly that's like bullshit. We don't know who the judge's grandson is. But bribing judges, we're not saying bribing, but we do think there's influence. We do think because there's certain things that just felt unfair in how the judge ruled on many motions, which was against Milagro. And I mean even for Tory to a certain extent too. But mainly in that civil case, I've seen a lot of unfairness. They paid Meg's doctor to lie about bullet fragments. I think that's for the people who they want to say, oh, you guys are stupid. If you look back, LAPD medical report. Glass, Lafredo, Megan Stallion. If you look back at it, an LAPD report surfaced online yesterday saying Megan Stallion stepped on glass the night of 2020, July 2020, which resulted in laceration. Dr. Lafredo, who treated the rapper, said the injury was caused by glass and not a bullet. Okay. Last month, a medical report obtained by multiple news outlets showed that 3 bullet fragments were found in her feet after they brought her to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center. Okay? Now, these two things are contradictory in the same report. How come a doctor said there was the injury wasn't caused by glass? It was caused by glass, not a bullet. We get to find out. Doctor testified. We get to realize it was a different doctor. It's a doctor, I believe that was an orthopedic doctor. His name is not Lafredo. His name is Dr. Lee Haruno. He's the one that was in orthopedic. So the first doctor, because they did not know the extent of the injury, they said, okay, she told us she stepped on glass. It looks like we see lacerations. It's probably glass. Okay? Further examination by another doctor said no. There's bullet fragments. There's 2 metallic foreign bodies there. Okay? Now this idea that Vlad is saying people are paid off. Well, you have two conflicting things. So let's Google it again. Dr. Leoruno, right, and Lafredo. Yeah. Okay. Now, I'm kind of going off grok here, but Dr. Anthony Lafredo, he's the ER doctor. He initially treated Meg Thee Stallion. She told him she stepped on glass. So the paperwork that he wrote up says she stepped on glass. Now, this idea that people are stupid for believing she stepped on glass, well, she not only continued the lie that, well, we're saying that was a lie, that she stepped on glass to the police that met her. When she first gets to the ER, she says, I stepped on glass. They look at her foot. They're not looking too deep in. They're believing her. She ain't saying nothing about getting shot. To the initial eyes of that doctor, they wrote a medical report that was attached to the police report. Stepped on glass. Subsequent x-rays, right? Look, Dr. Lee Haruno confirmed bullet fragments. So there's two doctors. One said consistent with stepping on glass. The other did x-rays and said there's bullet fragments. It's not people being stupid. I get it why you're skeptical if you hear two different things from two different doctors.
Yo. Okay, we like it.
When she pulled up and the police come.
Do you think we're gonna go to jail? What's that? Do you think we're gonna go to jail?
You're familiar with.
Do you think we're gonna go to jail? What's that? Do you think we're gonna go to jail? I don't know. We're trying to figure it all out. As long as you guys cooperate with us and you guys tell us what happened, we'll go accordingly, okay? But if you guys are not telling us, then I don't think. I really cannot go to jail. Okay. I cannot.
Now, this idea, just remember that. This idea, as Vlad would say, well, why would someone call from jail to apologize? That's
make it make sense.
actually a great question. I like Vlad asking that question because that shows someone thinking and someone saying. Why would a man call to apologize to a woman who, as Vlad said, put him in jail? Well, I'm acknowledging that because I'm sane and I'm logical. Let me ask you this question. Why would a victim then say, am I going to go to jail? They don't like when you ask questions back. They only like to tell you the narrative, right? So remember Vlad said, well, why would Tory call from jail and apologize to the woman who put him in jail? That's an amazing question. Well, how about this question?
How about this?
Why would the woman who got shot by Tory, supposedly, ask the cops, am I going to go to jail? Nobody wants to talk about that. Again, I'm not here. This is also not me defending this Tory thing. I'm trying to tell you why I'm here to support people that got questions. Trust your gut. Trust your gut. Because these people don't want to hear no more.
Go to jail. I don't know. We're trying to figure it all out. As long as you guys cooperate with us and you guys tell us what happened, we'll go accordingly. Okay? But if you guys are not telling us, you guys are, then I don't think. I really cannot go to jail. Okay.
I really can't go to jail. Ain't you the one shot?
So she got him in jail.
Well, hold up
Is
now.
that what we saying?
They said when Tory was on the shit, apologizing to Meg, saying, man, I was so drunk. It was because it's clear that he shot her. Well,
What?
why the hell is the victim saying to the cops, I can't go to jail. If there's nothing you did, that's jailable.
You hear me?
Okay.
I cannot have that on my image.
Okay. So how did that?
That also is very, very telling. I cannot have that on my image. When it comes to, well, why would Meg want the narrative to be, this guy shot me and I'm a victim? She says it to the cops that night. I can't have this type of stuff on my image.
Break it
What
down.
happened to you? Glass? Where?
Where we were coming from.
You hear her. So what happened? I stepped on glass when another officer points to her foot.
Mm-hmm. Break it down.
I'm not from here, so I.
Break it down.
I didn't get shot.
You did. Yeah, I ain't hear that part, right?
Shot.
You sure you ain't get shot? I didn't get shot.
I didn't get shot.
Oh, you did it?
No, ma'am. I mean, no, sir.
I didn't get shot. Okay. All right. So let's keep it going. We're just going to go down this one more time. Again, we're here.
Going.
The LA police are all
Break that shit down
on Jay-Z's payroll. It doesn't stop with LA.
Break that shit
But you're not
down.
really ready to hear that part. Well, the reason why Rock Nation probably loves this tweet by Vlad, because he's being so overt and so speculative that, yes, if you believe everything to the T of what he's saying, they could label you as an idiot. Here's the problem. Not necessarily the LA police are on Jay-Z's payroll, but we should probably look at the police in this case, period. Their investigation reports that shots were fired and they see a woman bleed.
Uh-huh.
They even write she stepped on glass. With no proper examination, they hold her there. She's telling them the same thing. Remember, the investigation, and again, I'm not saying the LA police are on anybody's payroll, but if the people who believe that there's some fishiness going on, this was sloppy police work at best. Same thing we saw in the A$AP Rocky case. A$AP Rocky supposedly had shot a guy. The guy went to the store. Rocky and them dipped because they ran. Then the guy comes back the next day and picks up the bullet and gives it to the cops. The cops were there
Break this shit down.
the day before because he didn't report it. But the cops didn't find the bullets.
Break that shit down. Break that shit down.
Who found the bullets? The guy.
We ain't
Doesn't make sense, does it? Doesn't seem like you should convict A$AP Rocky on him shooting someone when there was 7 cops on the scene looking for bullets. They couldn't find it, but the next day, conveniently, who finds the bullets? Or shell cases. That guy. Whoa. Let's think about it in this Tory case. Well, the cops show up. They get called. It's on 911 call, record. There's a shoot. It's their job to figure out, is there a gun used? Who got shot at? Who's the victim? Who used the gun? Where were the shots fired? Who called? And who saw what? They say they find a gun in the front seat. Based on their history and training, we see this a lot in you know, federal agents, you know, write up and complaints. Based on on information and training, I could say that gun probably was a little bit warm. There's no actual statement by the cops that definitively say there was gunshots fired by that gun that we recovered in that front seat. Sloppy already. So yeah, there's a gun. They did come to a thing that said there was gunshots fired. They don't know if that's that gun. There's nothing memorialized in that report. Okay. Well, let's talk to the people.